What is up? What is up, awesome people of the internet? Guys, earlier today we heard from Sky new head coach Tyler Marsh. He had a introductory press conference earlier today, and I was at work, so I couldn't cover it live. But we are here, and we about to cover this thing. We about to talk about what he talked about in the press conference. So, a couple takeaways, main takeaways I had in this press conference was one, this man expects to build around the core of primarily Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso. He wants to score. He is a man who loves scoring. His dad is a defensive guy. Tyler is a scoring guy. Like he wants offense, 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 which means everybody is about to be shooting threes for the Chicago Sky. Also, guys, we heard that he expects to win in 2025. He does not. He's not looking to start winning in 2020, 2026 and 2027. He expects to win, which means ding, 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 playoffs in 2025. Okay. And there was no real mention of Kennedy Carter. So, what I thought would be most helpful is instead of me pulling out a ton of clips, what I'm going to do instead is I am going to we're going to do a watch and talk of the press release, of the press conference, I should say. And as it goes through, I'm going to pause it. We're going to give some commentary. And then at the end, we're going to really wrap this thing up because there was way too many clips to separately clip out. So we just gonna watch the thing, and we are going to we're gonna talk about it. All right. So let's get into the press conference. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me, though. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support.
So Jeff, if you want to go ahead and get started, and then we'll go on coach.
Good morning. First, I want to thank everybody for coming out.
And for those who don't know, this is Jeff Pagliacca. He is the general manager of the Chicago Sky. He's the one who was hired after Teresa Weatherspoon last season and was kind of the one that kind of fired her. So, yeah, this is Jeff Pagliacca.
It's with a lot of pride and excitement that we're here today to announce Tyler Marsh as the new head coach of the Chicago Sky. We, of course, want to welcome his wife, Kiara, his son, Jackson, his parents, and his sister to the Chicago Sky family. In the off-season, we promised our players and our fans that we were going to be extremely intentional and diligent in our coaching search, and I believe today is a culmination of that. Tyler is a born leader. He's a connector. He's a culture creator, and he really brings a wealth of experience from the G League, from the NBA to WNBA, and really not just experience, but he really played a pivotal and vital role in helping bring championships to those organizations. And the more conversations that Tyler and I had during the process, the more I felt that our values truly aligned. We shared a passion for the game. We shared a passion for this league. And I loved his vision for how he wanted to come here and play and compete. He's
basically what Jeff is saying. He loves that Tyler is like, yes, I will commit to winning immediately. That's basically what Jeff is alluding to.
A man of high character who cares a lot about people, cares a lot about family, and that matters quite a bit to this organization. And before I hand it over to Tyler for remarks, I want to absolutely thank our very passionate Chicago Sky fans. I heard you, I felt you, we delivered, okay? All right?
He said, I heard you, I felt you, and we delivered to Chicago Sky fans. And I will say, yes, I don't like the way the Teresa Weatherspoon thing was handled. I don't like that. But if we take that aside, yes, he did deliver. He did. We needed a coach that had the confidence to kind of take us to the next level. A coach that people believed in, and Tyler is that. Like I really do. I really do think that Tyler is that. So yes, Jeff, you did deliver. You did. I don't like how you handled Teresa Weatherspoon, but you did deliver in Tyler Marsh. I would agree with that.
I want to thank our ownership, Michael Alter, Nadia Rawlinson, John Rogers, Adam Fox, our president. Without them, absolutely none of this is possible. And of course, have to acknowledge the Chicago Sky players that are in attendance today: Mariah, Michaela, and up here with us, Elizabeth and Rachel. So without further ado, Tyler Marsh, head coach of the Chicago Sky.
Thank you all for coming out. I remember when I was a kid and going to church with my dad, and the pastor would open up every sermon and would say, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. And I'm not up here to preach to y'all today, but I do want to say that I know a big reason for me being in this position is backed by my faith in the Lord, so I wanted to give thanks there. So thank you to Sky ownership. Thank you for the opportunity to lead this franchise, to lead this great sports city. I'm looking forward to settling down and ingratiating myself with the city. Thank you to all the players who are in attendance. It means a great deal to me as well. And thank you to the front office, to Adam, to Jeff. Thank you for your trust and belief that I was the right person for this job. Thank you to the fan base. My wife and I have received so many great welcoming, and we know that we're going to be home here in Chicago. And so she's from Milwaukee, just an hour and a half up the road, and so certainly great for her to be close to family and friends. So we're looking forward to settling down in the Midwest before the snow and the cold hits. So I want to thank my family who's in attendance. My mom, my dad, they drove from Birmingham, Alabama to be here today. To my sister, Sydney, thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. My 2-year-old Jackson, who y'all will see running around here at some point, I'm sure. And then my wife, Kiara, again. So when we were joking on the plane ride to Chicago, when we met back in 2015, I was coaching for a prep school in North Carolina, and I was making $500 a month, living in a house with 7 or 8 other high school kids. So I know she stuck with me through that. She's gonna stick with me through everything. So fast forward almost 10 years later, and at that time I was just someone that had goals and dreams of being a head coach. And you fast forward down the line and look to where we are today. I appreciate you being by my side. So love you. Thank you to my agent, Andy Miller, who's also here, for your diligence and your commitment on my behalf. I appreciate you. To my coaching mentors, I've worked alongside and for some great coaches over the years. Of course, Becky Hammond, Nick Nurse, Nate Bjorkman, Rick Carlisle, Jenny Buchek, Adrian Griffin. All those helped mold me into the coach that I am today. So thank you for your contributions. And then the Las Vegas Aces. I want to thank you for 3 amazing years, from the ownership and Mark Davis to Nikki Fargas, Tanya Holly, Matt Delson, for creating a space for everyone to be themselves, for your commitment to excellence and setting the standard of who we want the league to continue to grow and to be. Thank you to Coach Hammond, to the players, again, for never making work feel like work, for making it fun to come to work every single day, to work alongside, to be able to be part of history and bring the city of Las Vegas back-to-back championships. Certainly memories that I'll never forget, and relationships that will last a lifetime. So thank you to all.
Quick break real quick. BBG 2K, I agree. Like he sounded nervous or like emotional during the front half of the press conference, and I think it's understandable, right? I think it's understandable because it's like he's always wanted this. He's always wanted to be a head coach. He finally gets this opportunity. Everyone's there to see him, right? And so, like, I think it was a mix of like, it sounded like nervousness and kind of a little bit emotional for the fact that he has gotten the thing that he had so desired, which is the head coaching role, and he has to go through all the people that he wants to thank, and he's like very appreciative of it and all that stuff. So like, I think that's why you hear that a little bit in his throat.
Las Vegas organization, and again, thank you to all you for having me here. And I couldn't be more excited, couldn't be more blessed to be named the head coach of the Chicago Sky. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Jeff. We'll open it up for questions for all 4. So if you just want to give me like a little hand, nod, wave, whatever, we'll go from there.
Hi, Julia Post, Chicago Tribune. Welcome to Chicago. I just wanted to start off with both Jeff and Tyler. Can both of you guys just kind of walk us through what this process looked like, kind of what the timeline was, and what those conversations looked like?
I got it. Yeah, Julia, good to see you. Not much of a timeline. We had a pretty broad pool of candidates. Had a lot of great conversations. As soon as Tyler and I started talking, there was pretty immediate synergy, and those conversations, were accelerated kind of quickly, got him into town, and the rest is history.
Yeah, if you know Jeff, he comes in hot. So he was very intentional about letting me know how bad he wanted me to be part of this organization, and that went a long way for me. We connected on our values of how we believe people should be treated, and then that kind of transcended into how we view the game. And so, but when you put people first, that makes a lot of difference, and that had a lasting impact on me in this process.
So Jeff wanted Tyler. Jeff wanted Tyler real bad, and he got him. So I think that says a lot, because remember, Jeff Pagliacca did not pick Teresa Weatherspoon as the head coach. He didn't. She was already hired as the head coach before he came on. And so to me, it should always be where the GM does hire the head coach, because it's the GM's job to really work hand in hand with the head coach to ensure that the head coach has, all the tools that they need. And the fact that Jeff Pagliacca was like, yep, you know what? Yep, I want you, Tyler Marsh, and I'm going to keep bothering you until you take this head coaching job. That's what you want. So that's why I'm like, actually, yeah, I think Tyler's good. Tyler's good because Jeff sought him out. Jeff wanted him. All right. And so that is absolutely huge. Andre says he said that about Teaspoon. Well, technically, when Teaspoon was hired, Jeff Pagliacca was not hired as GM. Jeff Pagliacca came on board afterwards, and yes, said that they were lockstep and all this other stuff. But when Teresa Weatherspoon was hired, we saw Nadia Rawlinson say that she was all in with Teresa Weatherspoon, and say the similar stuff that Jeff Pagliacca is saying about Tyler Marsh. That's what Nadia Rawlinson, who's a part owner of the Chicago Sky, that's what she said about Teresa Weatherspoon last year. But last year it was Nadia Rawlinson, it was Teresa Weatherspoon, and it was Kalia Copper on the stage for the introductory press conference, right? There was no GM. They hired Tyler afterwards. And so, yes, he said that he enjoyed working with Teresa Weatherspoon, and they had a good relationship and yada, yada, yada. But Teresa Weatherspoon was never his choice. Right? And so, yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. Favorite says exactly. Yeah. I think that's a huge thing. Huge. TW says true, which sucks. Yeah, it does. It does.
Tyler, Annie Constable, Chicago Sun-Times, second row. Opportunity. A lot of taking the right opportunity is about being aligned with it, and you obviously have championship experience at every level, but have not been a head coach at the pro level yet. What was it about this opportunity that aligned with you and made you feel like this was the right moment to take that jump?
Yeah, I was very transparent throughout the interview process with both the Aces and other teams that I've interviewed with, and I made it clear that for me to take this next step, it would have to be the right fit. It would have to feel right. I was fully prepared to walk away from any situation that didn't feel like the right one, because I was so happy in Vegas and enjoyed who I was around and who I was working with. But through conversations with Sky ownership, through conversations with Jeff, this felt like the right place to be. Again, we aligned on the values again of what meant the most to us and building a family atmosphere, and I wanted to be part of that. And then you look to the basketball side and the young talent that we have here and how we can continue to build and move forward. You see the trajectory of where the league is going, and I think Chicago is in a perfect position to be part of that and to kind of continue to set the trend of where the W is moving forward to in terms of how we're playing. And so everything kind of came together, and this seemed like the perfect match and the perfect fit for me in the right time to take this jump. So
it's the perfect fit. And I will say, there's a lot of people, myself included, that have a lot of stuff to say about the front office of the Chicago Sky, and what they have done in the last couple of weeks. And I'm like, man, okay, all right, it's the perfect fit. Okay, you feel fully confident in this organization, after what you have seen them do, okay. More power to you. More power to you, Tyler Marsh. But I really do think that Chicago is really in a really good spot. Number one, they are going to be building that practice facility, which they did do a groundbreaking on a couple weeks ago, and I think that this is one of those things where you know everyone likes Chicago. Like Chicago's a great city to be in, really really great city, especially in the summer. Great city to be in. We will have a new practice facility. Yes, some of the stuff that the organization has done, not great. It's specifically related to the Teresa Weatherspoon thing and how they botched that. But we are moving forward, and Tyler Marsh is like, you know what? This is where I want to be. They have a family atmosphere. They're looking to build something, and we align on our priorities. And yeah, let's get it done. Let's get it done. Miss H. Jones says, I don't like the location of the practice facility. The practice facility is in a great location. It's like right outside of the city of Chicago. It's about 30 minutes away from Winchester Arena where the Sky play. I think it's a great location. Bedford Park is a perfect location in my opinion.
Hey, Coach Marsh, Carly Bell, Marquee Sports Network. Nice to meet you and welcome to the city of Chicago. Obviously, your whole background is in player development. You got a lot of recognition for developing Jackie Young this past season. And when you look at the development that's still here on the Sky with the rookies in both Angel and Camilla, what is kind of your game plan on how you want to elevate their offensive games while still keeping their defensive integrity in line?
Yeah, I think, first I've been able to see and experience basketball at virtually every level, college, high school, WNBA, G League, NBA. And so when you're around that many leagues and you've taken on so many positions, it's not just player development that becomes part of who you are and part of my makeup. It's time in the video room. It's time creating scouting reports. So it's certainly a little bit of a well-roundedness there. I think to answer your question specifically, we want Camilla and Angel to be good at what they do already. We want to continue to highlight their strengths. We want to, but we also want to continue to improve and figure out ways where they can score easily, or they can still be effective defensively. I think it's important to understand, though, that even though they're kind of the cornerstones of this franchise, that championship teams are 1 through 12. Everyone has a huge part to play. Everyone has value. Everybody brings value. Doesn't matter how many minutes you play. If you look at our championship team with the Aces, you take someone like a Sydney Colson who could go stretches throughout the season without playing that many games, and then comes in the finals in Game 4, makes a huge contribution there. You look at this past finals with Minnesota, and every game is somebody different. With New York, every game is somebody different. And so that's what we want to create here with Chicago. We want everybody to know their importance, everybody to know their value, and how they can contribute to a winning franchise.
That was such a fire response. Fire, fire, fire. He let it be known. The main focus for the Chicago Sky is Angel Reese and Camilla Cardoso. And the idea that they want other players that can help with the team as well. It is notable that he did not mention Kennedy Carter in that. It was Angel Reese, Camilla Cardoso. They're doing a lot of great stuff right now, and he is looking to develop them further. But notable omission for Kennedy Carter.
Coach Marsh, good morning. Welcome to Chicago. Brian T, Chicago State of My Sports. So hoops and obviously coaching is in your DNA. I just wanted to hear from you how your dad has had an impact on your coaching journey.
Yeah, he's been a college coach my entire life, and so I've been around him and been to a few of his introductory press conferences, so now having that shoe on the other foot is kind of cool. But for me, he just taught me how to be a man of faith in this coaching profession, and how to make an impact on young people's lives, and that got me into coaching. That's what kind of continues to fuel me now, and putting the person first and the player second. I think that once you've connected to the individual, the basketball stuff comes easy. So that's what he taught me. I continue to see people who he's coached 10, 20, not to age him, but 10, 20, 30 years ago, still speak to how much of an impact he's made on their lives. And so that's kind of the trajectory that I want to go in my coaching career as well.
This is Alyssa Hirsch from the Next. Coach, just to follow up on your dad, I was listening to an interview with him, and he was saying that his coaching style is very defensive minded. Yeah. That's where he's at. But he kind of suggested that you're a little bit different, and that you're a little more creative, maybe a little bit more focused on the offensive end. I was just curious if you feel like that's true, and kind of talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we argue about that all the time. Those days of 50 and 60 point games that he's used to, those days are over with. We want to score, and we want to score a lot. And so No, it's a good back and forth that we have every now and then. Obviously, you know the importance of defense, and he's, I lean on him a lot in terms of my acumen and from a defensive standpoint. And so he watches every game, has all the time, whether I was in the G League or whether I was in the NBA and now in the W. He watches every game, and we talk about it, we analyze it. I talk to him on the way home. And so he's certainly been a huge support system from that standpoint.
For Elizabeth and Rachel.
So y'all heard that? He is looking for offense, 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 offense. Okay? That's what he's looking for. That is exactly what this man is looking for. And I'm not mad at it. He gonna talk about the threes in a little bit, but I'm not mad at it at all. Yes. If you saw anything, if you saw the Aces, if you've seen the Aces in the last couple of years, what do? Fast pace. Bucket, 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 bucket. Sure, can they play defense? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. But their main focus is to score. And for the Chicago Sky, defensively, they were pretty good this year. Offensively, they struggled. And it's great to bring in a person like a Tyler Marsh who can bring in that offense. Like, that's what the Sky need. They need offense. And with Tyler, you bring that offensive mind with the defensive capabilities that these players already have. Okay, we're cooking with some gas, right? Because you got Elizabeth Williams, who is one of the top post defenders in the league. Her ability to block shots, her ability to move her feet to contest shots. If it wasn't for her getting hurt, there seriously was a chance that the Chicago Sky could have actually made the playoffs, right? When we look at Angel Reese, really good defender. Camila Cardoso, really good defender. You need a little bit more on the guard front in terms of defense, but you got the post defense already. Now, if you can add some more offense, okay, we're cooking with gas.
You guys have both experienced a lot of change with the Sky, whether it was coming in mid-season or going through multiple coaching changes. Just what has stuck out to you guys in early conversations with Tyler about what kind of this next era or identity of Chicago Sky basketball is going to look like?
Yeah, I think we're really excited to have him here. I think obviously he comes in with a lot of experience, but he also comes in with the mindset of creating a certain culture. And I think he's been intentional about communicating with us. And, I think the basketball stuff will come, but essentially, when you're trying to reestablish what things will look like, I think he's great for the job. So just looking forward to getting to know him more and seeing how his integrity kind of translates to us and how we want to look.
Michael says Quita audio sounds off. I'm playing at 1.25 speed, so maybe that's why I didn't want it to lag. I didn't want it to take forever. So yeah.
I would say, in my first conversation with Tyler, he was super authentic, and I love that. And I told him right away, I'm a culture kid. I believe in culture on a team is super important, and that was something that he spoke on too. And my second thing was player development for our young rookies. And I said, I'm not going to be here forever, but I really want this organization to grow into a top contender. And that's could be with Angel and Camila, and I'm like, their ability to grow is so high, and I know that's something that he can do and what he's been doing in his career. So that was something super important, and it aligned perfectly.
Now here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing that I really I'm using the wrong mic. Okay. I think I was using the wrong mic. All right, let me know if it sounds better. I think it was picking up my my AirPods mic, which was sorry about that. That wasn't my intention. But if y'all listen to Rachel Banham's response. Yeah, Mike, big lotto. Yeah, if y'all listen to her response, and she said, hold on, let me just play it back.
I would say, in my first conversation with Tyler, he was super authentic, and I love that. And I told him right away, I'm a culture kid. I believe in culture on a team is super important, and that was something that he spoke on too. And my second thing was player development for our young rookies. And I said, I'm not going to be here forever, but I really want this organization to grow into a top contender.
So he said, so she's like, hey, I'm a vet. I've been around for a long time. I know that I'm probably not going to stay with this team for forever, right? I know I'm not, but What about the future of our young players? What about Camilla? What about Angel Reese and their development? What are you going to do to make those players better? Because I know that while I'm on this team, and I know, I want to play and I want to make an impact. However, I know the two most important players on this team. I know that they are Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso. And I know that they're young and they need to be developed. So what is your what's your plan? What's your plan to make them better? And guys, when I tell you Rachel Banham is going to stay on the Chicago Sky team as long as she wants, with a vet that thinks like Rachel Banham, that is looking out for the future of her rookies, now not rookies anymore. I'm just like, when I heard that response, I was like, yup, Rachel Banham's a real one. Yup. She is someone who understands her position in the organization, and just wants to do everything in her power to ensure that these rookies are taken care of, and just shows she's a team player. It shows she is a team player, and yes, Kojo, she did just come to Chicago. Yes, she did. She just came to Chicago through that Marina Mabrey trade. So she hasn't even been with the team for that long, and immediately, that's what she's thinking. That's in her mind as she's talking to this new coach, not about, hey, Tyler, what can you do to develop me? Tyler, I know when I was with Connecticut, I came off the bench with the Chicago Sky. I started mainly because y'all needed me to, because y'all didn't have like y'all didn't really have the starters there. Tyler, what can you do to make me a permanent starter? She could have been talking all about herself and like, how do you want to develop me? How are you going to develop me? Nah, she didn't do that. She was like, what are you going to do to develop Angel and Camilla, who I know is the future of this team? Smart. She's going to have a long time with the Chicago Sky. I'm just saying, you want vets like that. Vets that are like, yep, I'm reading the room, and it's not all about me. It is not all about me. And y'all, that's what I'm talking about. That is what I am talking about. Like, I love it. Randomizer says, I like Rachel. She always gives good answers and seems like a locker room spark. Yeah. And she's funny too. Like Big Lotto is funny. She's funny. She is very, very funny. Let's see. Tom, I hope they keep her too. You better keep Big Lotto, aka Big Mama, aka Rachel Banham. You better keep her. I'm just saying. Not as a starter, but on the bench, coming off the bench as like a sixth woman or a seventh woman. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Mike says she's talking like a future coach. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, she is. Andre, she is not playing an Unrivaled. No, she is not playing an Unrivaled. Guys, if y'all are newer to the WNBA, you may not realize that Big Mama is Stephanie Dolson. All right? Stephanie Dolson is the original Big Mama when it comes to the WNBA. She's the original Big Mama. All right? So for those who don't know that, she has been the OG Big Mama in the W. Fans, a lot of fans that's been around for a while, they all know Stephanie Dolson as Big Mama. Okay? But recently, Rachel Banham has become Big Mama, aka Big Lotto. All right, so Unrivaled did a sort of a preview of one of their people that was going to be in Unrivaled, and they used Big Lotto and Big Mama as the hint. And because they use Big Lotto, I think it confused a lot of people. And they were like, oh, it's Rachel Bannum. It's not. It's Stephanie Dolson. All right? It is Stephanie Dolson. I don't know why they used Lotto in that hint. It should have just been Big Mama. Everybody would have got it. I think the Lotto thing confused people because people don't say Stephanie Dolson is Big Lotto. Rachel Bannum is Big Lotto and Big Mama, but Stephanie Dolson is the OG Big Mama. This is a funny thing to explain, but yeah. But yeah.
You know, and that's could be with Angel and Camila, and I'm like, their ability to grow is so high, and I know that's something that he can do and what he's been doing in his career, so that was something super important, and it aligned perfectly.
Tyler, congrats right here, second row. Josh Friedman with WGN TV.
Thank you.
The ladies were just talking about the culture, and you've been a part of so many winning organizations. What to you makes a winning culture? What defines that, and what do you hope to make the Sky? How do you hope to make the Sky into that?
Sure. The championship teams that I've been a part of have an elite level of professionalism, an elite level of selflessness and accountability, and that's how we want to be here. That's what we want to bring. We want to have the right balance of passion. We want to have the right balance of work ethic. We want to be able to take and receive criticism, be able to give it in a positive way. We want to speak life into one another. I think those are huge characteristics, and I think what you see is the teams who are left standing at the end of the year are the ones who are the most connected off the court. If you're connected off the court, you'll be connected on the court, and so that's kind of the landscape of what we want to create here in Chicago, and something that will allow us moving forward.
Y'all heard that answer? He wants locker room cohesiveness, which did not happen this year for the Chicago Sky. He wants players to be there for each other. He wants to be able to hold players accountable. He wants players to want the best for each other. That makes a successful team, right? When you look at the Las Vegas Aces, when you look at the Minnesota Lynx, when you look at the New York Liberty, locker room cohesion, that's what they have. They have selfless play, right? They have great locker rooms. Not the case for the Chicago Sky this year, according to reports. And I think all the stuff where players are saying stuff, and it's getting out on social media and whatnot, how they feel about certain stuff. Oh, that ain't happening next year. That ain't happening next year. Going out and complaining and airing out the dirty laundry of the team to the public. Oh no. With Tyler's response, I'm like, okay, I think there's certain people who are not coming back. There's certain people who are going to be. He's going to give them a side eye and be like, no, you better change the way you are, because it's unacceptable. I'm just saying. I am just saying. Like I think his response is like, hey, he ain't dealing with no foolishness. He ain't dealing with it. All right? He is not dealing with it. So you've been warned, Sky players. You have been warned. Professionalism, winning, and locker room cohesion is what Tyler Marsh is all about. And accountability.
First question for the players. This league is obviously tight-knit. You guys all talk team to team. I'm curious what your conversations were with your peers, your colleagues across the league about who Tyler is and what kind of got you excited about him coming here.
Yeah, for me, I actually texted Sydney Colson. She's one of my favorite people. Obviously, everybody knows she's hilarious. And I texted her. I was like, so what's your thoughts on this guy, Tyler? Because I don't know if anyone saw her tweet. She was hilarious. I know you saw them. And she's like, he's awesome. That's my guy. Like, he is such a good dude, and he gets the job done. She had so much good stuff to say about him, and I trust her so much. And, yeah, so I was really excited about that, and she had your back. So,
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I met, or my first conversation with Rachel, she gives me a lot of Sydney Colson vibes. Our first conversation, she was like, man, coach, I really don't want to cut this conversation off short, but I got to get ready for the Usher concert tonight. And so I was like, oh, no problem. I just want to introduce myself. I understand. Like, my wife and I, we went to Usher a few months ago. We get it. We understand. And then she was like, Yeah, I got to lock in, but I did go. I went last night also. So locking in for something you just went to is pretty crazy. But no, I appreciate everyone that I spoke to player wise. I appreciate their transparency and their openness, and I'm looking forward to continuing to build relationships with them.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Big Lotto, aka Rachel Banham, is giving off Sydney Colson vibes, and I could totally see that. I could totally see that. And for her to be like, "Oh, I gotta lock in. I'm about to go to an Usher concert." It's just like, who says that? Who says they're about to? They gotta lock in to go to a concert, even when they went the day before. Like that's Rachel Banham for you. Rachel, like it could be that. Yeah, Rachel Banham is like the Sydney Colson of the Sky, meaning is the person who sort of gives comedic relief, but also is the person that does anything the team needs her to do. You know, whatever situation, she's good, right? She is good. Mike says Sydney Colson vibes is not a compliment. I think it is. I mean, I think it depends on the way you say it, on like what you mean by it. I think Tyler Marsh means it in a great way, and I would say that too. The thing about Sydney Colson that a lot of people don't appreciate is her ability to fit in immediately and to contribute to the locker room. Like that's something that she can do. Like when you talk about veteran players, sometimes it's like you gotta, sometimes people are like, you know what, this person is talented, but I don't know how they're gonna fit in our locker room. Sydney Colson, you need locker room cohesiveness. Yeah, you bring in Sydney Colson. You bring her in because she is someone who knows what everybody needs, and she interacts with people in various different ways, right? She is someone who knows how to, okay, well, this person needs this. This person needs comedic relief before a game or whatever. This person needs this and that, and she does it. And she is okay with whatever role, regardless if she plays or not. And when she comes in the game, she is ready. She's ready. She is locked in. And I think that's like Sydney Colson. Yeah, she's a jokester and all that, but she's great. She's really, really great. Mike says I was joking. Well, I figure you're probably joking, but I know that there are people who are like very negative on Sydney Colson because they just see her joking and they don't realize like the value that she brings for the team and the value that she brings when she actually gets into the game. So like, I'm just saying, not this year's finals, but last year's finals, Sydney Colson was huge. Absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. Kojo says Sydney Colson is funny, but she stayed ready so she didn't have to get ready. Facts, and showed it in the finals last year. I think that may have been the title of the video that I made after her and Kayla George had a fantastic had a fantastic finals. Tiffy and Co says Tyler Marsh says that Sydney Colson was a great influence for his son. He's definitely using it as a compliment. Facts.
And then Tyler, a follow-up for you. You obviously have this championship experience, a championship resume, but you've also worked for franchises both in the WNBA that are top tier in terms of the way that they're run as organizations. I'm curious in your initial conversations what you feel like is important in terms of implementing here to make sure that that standard exists here as well.
Yeah, I think that it's only upwards here for the league, and I think that if you're one of the last few franchise standing in terms of adapting to where this league is going, you're behind the gun, so to speak. And so I think that for us, we want to set trends. We want to be ahead of the curve. We want to continue to care for our players and put forth the best resources possible so that they're the most successful and the best versions of themselves that they can be. It's all about winning, but it's all about improving and being better. And I think that it's about the players first and foremost. And so whatever we can do to provide the right type of atmosphere for them to be as great as they are, I think that's what we need to do.
We want to set trends. We want to set trends. That's what Tyler Marsh wants to do. That means that like, yo, he's gonna be doing stuff a little bit different. if y'all are expecting Las Vegas Aces 2.0, yeah, you probably got another thing coming. You probably got another thing coming because he's trying to do stuff different. Yeah, they're gonna focus on offense, but they're gonna rock out. They are going to rock out.
Jeff, this one's for you. I remember when you got hired, listening to you in interviews talk about your vision, and I think it was really centered around like defense, toughness, wanting competitive players, and I'm curious how that vision has evolved, now with somebody new at the helm.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. We still want to be that team. We want to be the toughest team on the court. You want teams to feel us right away when the game starts. We want to have the most grit. I think the teams that play the hardest typically last the longest. So in our initial conversations, that type of stuff came up as far as the dynamics and the vision, the philosophy for how we wanted to compete. But yeah, we want to be able to guard because everybody out there is pretty good now.
Head Coach Marsh, over here, there you go. I know obviously coaching staff decisions on who you want to bring in are a ways away, but when Becky Hammond spoke about you, she said that you were someone that she trusted kind of in the foxhole and was there for you. What are kind of the traits that you want to see in the coaching staff that you want to bring in, especially with this huge focus on player development and also making sure the resources are there for veteran players as well?
Yeah, the word that keeps coming up is selflessness. You're going to hear me say that a lot, and that doesn't just apply to our players, that applies to our staff as well. We got to be an egoless staff where we collectively put the players first, that we're a united front once we go out. Until we may disagree when it's just us, but once we go out into the court, when we're presenting game plans to the players, any times that we're out in front of in the public, we want to be a unified front. We want to be together. We want to be in this together. And so selflessness, having a serving mindset, again, being there for each other, not being above the fray, and being willing to do the little things that make a big difference.
And then to just kind of follow
real quick, the idea of selflessness, united front, those types of vibes is just, I think Tyler is letting everybody know, whether you coming in as an assistant coach or you are a player, or you are in just the overall staff of the Chicago Sky. This man wants to be all lockstep. Lockstep. Everybody has the same response. And I also think everybody gonna dress the same. That's the thing. That's the thing that they did with the Aces. They all gonna dress the same. United front. So everything that they said, that when you go out to the public, you better say the same thing, even if you disagree. I think all of that is just little signals that, like, yeah, it's a new sheriff in town. Things are going to change. The stuff that y'all was doing last season. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're not doing that. You're not doing that. And the idea of keeping the players first, that's important too. Making sure to put the players first in their decisions and whatnot. Yeah, that's smart.
Up on that, one of the other things that Becky Hammond said about you is that there's a lot of power in your quietness and there's a lot of power in your calmness that's there. And Elizabeth Williams is someone who also got that praise last year. How do you kind of want to rely on your veteran presence, especially someone like Ewell, who has 10 years in the W, in helping establish yourself as a first-year head coach in the WNBA?
Yeah, that's kind of who I am. I think that balance is important, and I want our team to be able to, there's ups and downs of the season, ups and downs of a game, and I want our team to be able to look over to the side and know that their coach is in it, that their coach is present, that you never see me too high or too low, and so we weather the storms together, and I want that to translate onto them as well. So I'll be leaning on our veteran leadership to provide that kind of calmness as well in the locker room, especially when I'm not around, and so we can just kind of be even keel. We can turn it up when we need to, and we can pull it back when we need to.
What are the biggest off-season priorities for both of you? Obviously busy with draft lottery, everything kind of coming up. Just what are both of your biggest priorities for this off-season?
Yeah, I think we got a checklist. We'll take one at a time. We've got the draft lottery coming up, and then we got the expansion draft, then we got free agency. We're in the infancy of a lot of these conversations, but there are multiple conversations, we have every day. We've got a lot of work to do, but, to me, it's been the most fun part of bringing Tyler in is how like-minded we are and how we see the game so similarly. So those conversations have been great.
Any other follow-ups? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Shooting. We want shooting. And lots of it. I told Rachel and Michaela in our first conversations, when you have it, I want you to feel the confidence of letting it ride. And that goes for everyone. Liz, we're going to get you shooting some threes too. So, yeah, we want to.
Shooting. Yes, Tyler. Yes. I want to see that future where everybody is shooting threes and shooting long mid rangers and whatnot, where you are making that happen. Yes, everybody. We all know that Camilla can shoot a three every now and then. You know, we all saw her when she was at South Carolina. And what was that in the SEC tournament where Don was like, shoot that blankety blank, and she shot it and she scored. Like, you know, yes, this is. I am very happy about Tyler Marsh becoming the head coach of the Chicago Sky. As a Chicago Sky lifer, as someone who has had season tickets for years, as someone who has put in so much money to the Chicago Sky, buying jerseys, buying tickets, introducing the Sky to other people and getting them hooked on board as fans, as someone who is very invested in this team, I am so happy that Tyler Marsh is the head coach. Again, they did Teresa Weatherspoon wrong. I don't like that, but I'm happy that he's here. And I love just the way that he handled this press conference. I love his responses to the questions. I love the fact that he's like, nah, accountability. That's what this team needs. This team and these players, from the players to the assistant coaches to the front office, everybody, accountability. You got to be selfless. It's one for all and all for one. Like that's the vibe that I get from Tyler Marsh. And I'm like, yes, Tyler, yes. We need somebody who gon' get in that locker room and be like, hey, y'all gotta get together. Because this is unacceptable. I'm not going to allow this. I'm not going to allow this. I'm not going to allow this. And y'all talking to these other people and it's getting out in the public. Nah, we ain't doing that no more. That's done. Done. United front. Everybody locked up. Everybody says the same thing. We all going to look the same. And we all going to be focused on the one goal. Getting better and winning. Offense, offense, offense. I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. And as I was listening to this, as it was happening earlier, I was like, yes, Tyler, yes, I am on board. I am a believer. I love this. Now, while all this sounds all well and good, we have to actually see it happen. We actually have to see what this man actually does. The one thing that was never talked about in this press conference, the one thing that was never, ever mentioned was Kennedy Carter. Kennedy Carter's name was not mentioned not once. And what I don't understand is none of the journalists asked about Kennedy Carter. No one asked about her. She's a restricted free agent. The Sky have the ability to match any offers that she gets to retain her. What are we doing? No mention at all. It was a mention of Camila Cardoso, Angel Reese being sort of like the core of the team and him wanting to develop them even further. There's talk about him talking to Rachel Banham and Michaela Onyenwere about scoring and whatnot. Him wanting Elizabeth Williams to shoot threes. But no mention of your number one scorer from last year. I don't know. It seems weird to me. And I just can't believe none of the journalists asked that question. Like, I'm just like, as I was watching, I was like, okay, well, even if they don't, even if Tyler and Jeff don't want to mention her because they're like, actually, she's a restricted free agent, so like she may or may not be here next year, so let's not mention her. But like the idea that like none of the reporters even asked, and I was just like, man, how could you not ask? How could you not ask him, the level of priority in bringing Kennedy Carter back? Why was that question not asked? No one asked it. No one wanted to know. No one was curious about the number one scorer for the Chicago Sky last year. especially since Tyler Marsh wants offense, and he wants shooters. No one asked this question. And that's why I wish I'd known about this press conference ahead of time, because I would have took off and I would have went to that press conference and I would have asked that question. I really, really wish I was able to be there. I really wish I was able to be there. Right? Because I wanted to ask, like, point blank, what are your thoughts on Kennedy Carter? Point blank. And what is your priority in getting her back? I wish somebody would have asked. Because I just want to know. I just want to know. That's all. That's all. That's all. Because again, yes, she's a restricted free agent, but we also have the expansion draft happening. Are you going to reserve Kennedy Carter? Right? Or are you going to leave her open to get picked up by somebody? King Pisces says, but Quita, just because Tyler didn't mention Kennedy doesn't mean that he didn't reach out to her behind the scenes. I'm sure he did. I'm sure he reached out to Kennedy. I'm sure he did. Because it wouldn't make any sense if he didn't. I'm sure he did. But to me, I think it's actually more frustration about the people in attendance asking the questions and no one asking about that than anything. Right? I think that's more of my frustration. Because, I get it. Restricted free agent, may or may not be with the team next year. So, like, I get maybe you don't want to talk about her willingly. But somebody should ask the question about her so we can hear publicly what you think. Road 2 says, Quita, she might not be coming back. I hope she does come back, but yeah, I don't know. Rick says, maybe Kennedy was the source of a lot of the locker room trouble. I don't know. Just saying. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I hope she wasn't. Because I'm a huge fan of Kennedy Carter. I think she's a great player. I think, yeah, she has a fiery personality, but like, I think she has so much to offer the Chicago Sky. So I would love for her to be back. I really would. I also do think that she had a great relationship with both Camilla and Angel, and was one of the rare players on the team that was very, very willing to pass the ball to those players. There were a lot of times where it was like no one was checking to throw it down low, or if they did, they were throwing some terrible passes. But Kennedy was getting the ball to the post, and that was something that the other guards were not doing. So I'm just saying. Wynn says, Julia posted that she has an interview coming out where she asked him about her. Okay, great. Great. That's fantastic. Okay, I cannot wait to see that interview. Yeah, I can't wait to see that interview because I really want to hear commentary on that. I really, really, really do. Yeah, guys. I mean, that's the stream, basically. That is the stream. And for those who don't know, Julia, the Julia person, her name is Julia Poe. She's a Sky reporter for the Chicago Tribune. And I'm looking at her Twitter now. Yeah, she says, I've got a deep dive into Marsh and his coaching ideals coming this weekend. Then answers to some questions, who to watch in the NCAA, Kennedy re-signing, etc. coming next week. So stay tapped in over here. Okay. So y'all, Y'all make sure to follow Julia Poe on X, because she's gonna put an answer, like she's gonna release articles talking about that. She hasn't released it yet, but she will, and when she does, I will make sure you all know. All right. But that's the stream. I just wanted to do a watch and react, because I watched it earlier, but like I had so many thoughts to share, and I was like, actually, I think it's way easier to just play the whole thing, and then we're gonna talk about it as we go through. So yeah, what do y'all think? Are y'all excited about Tyler Marsh? I am. Again, I'm a big Sky fan. Like, I want the Sky to be successful. I don't like what the Sky have been doing recently, and the moves that they have made. But I love this move. I think this move is great. And I'm excited about it. I really am excited about the future of the Chicago Sky. Will we make the playoffs next year? I don't know. It depends on where we fall in the WNBA draft, and it depends on who we sign. Okay? That's what it depends on. Yeah, I'm happy about it. I'm happy. Nola says, I'm excited, but he hasn't been a head coach. Yeah, he hasn't. Neither was Becky Hammon. Becky Hammon was never a head coach. She was only an assistant. Became the head coach of the Las Vegas Aces and won 2 championships right off the bat. The Aces roster is crazy. Like, way better than the Chicago Sky roster. So that's what I'm not saying that Tyler Marsh is going to win a championship in his first year. But what I am saying is, just because someone does not have head coach experience does not mean they won't be successful as a head coach of the on a WNBA team, especially if they have a variety of expertise in different areas, right? Tyler Marsh, he was an assistant in the NBA. He was an assistant in the WNBA. His dad is a coach. They know the in and out of just about everything. And so he's someone who's kind of prepared for this. Yeah, he has not been a head coach. He hasn't. But actually, I don't think that's much of a knock. I really don't. I don't, because I think there's so much more in his resume that makes me excited and makes up for the fact that he doesn't have head coaching experience. Shout out to Booker B. Thank you so much for the super chat. Says Angel has been working on her game, including threes, and her form looks much better. Also, there was a lot of lack of accountability last year. Yeah, Angel has been working. I've been seeing some of the videos that have been posted about her. I probably will have a video about it tomorrow. But yeah, right. Angel Reese has been in the lab working. She has been in Florida. She is getting ready for Unrivaled. Her wrist is healed, and she's been doing her thing. So you better watch out. Angel Reese is looking good, and is about to do her thing in Unrivaled. Hopefully she stays healthy, and then she's about to ball in her second year. The Sky for sure are going to the playoffs next year, for sure. The reason why I say that for sure is because I think Tyler Marsh knows that is his mandate. He said that he expects to win in 2025. That means that this team is making the playoffs. That's what this means. All right. And so, yeah. So yeah, that's my thoughts. That is my thoughts. Tiffy and Co says the only hesitancy I can see Tyler having with Kennedy is accountability. She visibly gave up on the court a few times last season. Yes, and so did just about every other player on the Chicago Sky. Just about every other player gave up on plays as well. They did. And I watch all the games, so I see it, right? I watch all the games, so I see it. Yes, they've all done that. Just about all of them have done that. Though I don't remember the two people I don't remember actually giving up on plays is Camilla and Elizabeth. Just about everybody else has given up on plays before, though. So yeah. I'm not sure what's going on in the chat. Nivea has a problem with Pete. I'll have to go back and see whatever he's saying. But you all can individually block people if you want. Like you all could hit that block button and block somebody if you want. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. But please be respectful. That would be absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. Thank you. All right. Well, yeah, that's it. I ain't got nothing else to say. Tyler Marsh is officially with the Chicago Sky, and I am very happy about it. Yeah. Anyway, appreciate y'all. I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Yeah. Got more videos that's going to be coming out very, very soon. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about, not as much time. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to do like very, very short videos. Like short. I know I'm very long-winded. Like a lot of my videos are like very, very long. I'm going to try to go really, really short and crank out a bunch of videos because there's a lot of topics I want to talk about. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about. And there's just not enough time for me to like make everything happen as well as do my actual job. And so yeah, I got to figure that out. But anyway, hopefully lots more content coming your way. If y'all could, please do me a huge favor, hit that like button on y'all way out. Also subscribe to the channel. Guys, I am really trying to build this thing and make this thing like a really, really viable thing to do. And if y'all want to be a part of that, I would ask that you all consider becoming a member on this channel. I would humbly ask if you could consider becoming a member. You can either become a member on YouTube or join the Patreon, folks. It really is an opportunity to just give a consistent amount each month, $5 each month to the channel. Like I really would love to eventually do this as a full-time thing, but got to figure out a way to make that work. And your support will absolutely help in that endeavor because there's a lot of stuff to cover when it comes to women's basketball. Like it could be a full-time job. It really could be. It really could be. There's so much stuff. And so yeah, if you want to help out, you can do that. That would be much appreciated. Guys, that's been a stream. I appreciate y'all. Have a great night. Be kind to one another. Be respectful. I love you. But most importantly, guys, Jesus loves you and he wants a relationship with you. I will talk to y'all later. Let me hang out with my dogs. Mr. President is here. Princess is here. They're both sleeping. So for all the people that wanted to see the dogs, they will not be on the stream today. Yes, I will be reviewing Camilla's debut. Yes, I do have several videos about the WCBA, which is the Women's Chinese Basketball Association. I do have several videos of that planned, so get ready for it, okay? All right. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.